How is it that if everybody sits and just looks, I mean, teenagers, little kids, anybody, everybody on the base level knows this. They just look for a second and they'll say, world's messed up, man. Society is upside down. I'm not talking about like this time between times of how things have become so odd. I mean, it's been like that for a long, long, long time. But it's so obvious for anyone to just sit and look at it. It's perfectly clear. But why is it that everybody then just seeps back into, like, turns off and goes right back into their role, basically? How's that happen? And these are the things that are more interesting because when you start to look into how things happen on a consistent basis, you can separate yourself a little bit and look at it and say, ah, well, I've seen that, but it was unconscious. But now that I'm looking back at it, I've seen it like 32,000 times. That's occurred for me and those around me. See something, kind of joke about it, or make a joke with somebody who's pointing it out, and then just go right back to whatever. So, for example, the entire concept of having to work to have a family is so incredibly backward and has gotten, I mean, even 100 years ago, has gotten so far out of balance. It was backward to start with, and then the backwardness got pulled so far out of balance that people from 1920s on till now in 2025 basically put their requirement for working and then requirement for family and then requirement for some type of interaction with life and then requirement for themselves in that order. It's backward. And anybody who takes their life into their own hands and does it in the reverse order, the proper order, self and God, love and self, um, community, environment, nature, family, and then purposeful occupation, livelihood. If anybody does it in that order finds truth there. But almost everyone is doing it in the order that it's encroached upon and forced upon them. And how does everybody even find themselves in that predicament? And why is it that most people hearing this at some point within them agree with it and then just so quickly go to that's just the way it is and want to turn it off and not look at it anymore? But they want to look at something. They want to look at some fucking screen. They want to look at uh, some sports thing. They want to look at somebody playing music. They want to look at somebody talking, doing something to entertain them. But entertainment is the replacement for joy. They don't want to look at the thing that's actually keeping them from being in in charge of carrying on their chariot down the path to their joy. And so they're subdued, they're suppressing themselves, and they're interacting with life through the rules of society, which is just it's just implication. It's just everybody's doing certain things based on the implication that they will continue to fit in. That's it. And watch, anybody who doesn't do that just kind of slowly gets drawn out of social orders, whether it's by their own forcefulness or just the natural mechanism of people, the cattle herd staying tighter and tighter and tighter to those that they trust. If someone's not on the same vibration, The masses just don't trust them anymore, and they just kind of slowly slip away. Even in a party, you'll see people who are a little bit more outcast who've done certain things not to the beaten path, and they'll be on the outskirts of the room. This is how I see it. There's way less than 1% that are here under a program to shine their light. And there's way less than 1% that are here to under a program to close the blinds. And then there's basically 100% left. And of that 100%, there's about 65% who create their internal moral standards based on what the collective unconscious is feeding into them. So they're basically a kind of an open vessel, and they're just proliferating what the collective is being information is being fed into the collective unconscious. They're just like blindly proliferating it back out, and they're a projection, and so whatever it is that's fed into them, that's the information they take in, and that's what is right and wrong to them. And then they are easily coerced into living a life that's not their idea, and that's not good or bad. That's just where they're at. And then of that 100% left, there's 35%. So that was the 65. 35% are very similar to the 65%, except for that they don't have the base program to be completely wide open to whatever moral uh, objectivism that is fed into the collective. The 35% serve the collective, but don't find themselves in a place to completely bend to whatever morals are bending. And so it's usually the 65% that get ahead and the 35% that keep the ratio of the collective at a steady rate. So the vibration stays steady. And there are those that are here to close the blinds, which are usually more the programmers of the collective. And there are those that are here to shine their light, which are usually attacked by the collective because the closing of the blinds programmers convince the collective, which flows through the 100%, especially the 65%, to look at anyone that's on the outside as the outcast. And so the 35% won't necessarily see the less than 1% that's here to shine their light as an enemy at all, but they won't do anything to stick up for them. And the 35% can actually find their own courage and shine their own light. Anybody can, even those that are programmed to close the blinds. Anybody has choice. It's just you come in with a base program. But the 65% are the most dangerous because they're the ones that take all the action. They're the ones that do the bidding of everything. They're the ones that keep the economic systems flowing. They're the ones that serve everything in the military or corporate hierarchy all the way through. They're all of the personalities and all of the placeholders and all of the chairs and all of the bodies that make society go by just saying it is what it is. I've got it figured out. They're the ones in this current last century that have served the monetary system so well. It doesn't change the fact that it's so obviously retarded. If you just look at anything and how it functions and stop turning your internal off Keep the mind spotlight on and just sit there with it on for long enough without manipulation. Just look at anything for long enough, you'll get to the place of, well, why? And as soon as anybody says, well, why? Most everybody's just either going to say what they've been told already from school or whatever, church, or they're just going to turn it off, change the subject, make a joke, turn themselves off, go to the next thing, entertainment, replacement for joy. Very, very, very rarely does anybody sit and just keep attempting to figure it out by opening themselves up, by unfolding themselves, by creating more room and space within themselves to have a greater picture. Everybody thinks they have almost everything figured out, but they really have just received information from the external, which is a projection of the internal mind. They're not even looking at where it starts. They're looking at the reflection going, I see that there's a reflection. That's all I need to know. And they don't even fucking know it's a reflection. The 35% and the 65% basically know nothing. And that's just part of the journey for them. Because this is a temporary embodiment of divine limitless spirit energy. And yet, the the very small group that those that are here to close the blinds, they're aware of a decent amount, probably not everything, but a decent amount, and yet they stay in the shadows because they just, by the nature of the mechanisms, don't want the 100% to know that they're feeding them information. They're playing their part. They're just doing their part. They're just the antagonist. There's a requirement for polarity in this reality of duality. And the ones that are here to shine the light, they can't really just go around shining their light all the time to everybody all the time, because everybody else, it's like a black light. Like everybody can't see it. Even if they shine it right in front of somebody, people will look at them and be like, as soon as they're done talking, okay, go to the next thing. You have to be of a certain vibration to be able to hold a resonance, to be receptive of basically anything. There has to be some type of a resonance between the correspondence of the information, no matter what it is, where you're from, who are you, what is going on, why is this place called the place it is, what anything. Almost everybody, going back to like the family unit and working, serving social orders, almost everybody puts their learning capabilities into the mechanism of becoming good at a position somewhere, somehow. And they don't know they're doing it until they get to the place where they're like, oh, well, I got to really do it now, either in their 20s or 30s. And the most interesting people either find a way around that or find a way out of it. And yet those people have a very difficult time communing with those that stay in it, because they can see that there's another path, and those that stay in it cannot see that there's another path, because they're purely of the vibration of the collective, which is a repetition of fear, which is serving a safety net, really. And so it's more important for them in their journey, their spiritual development journey, to hold on to the ropes of fear, which provides them a feeling of safety internally. They internally cannot give themselves enough grace and openness and space to be able to change a little bit of vibration, to have more space to be able to perceive what the one on the other path would like to explain to them. I know that sounds a little all over the place, but the 65 and 35% must grow on at some rate to be able to perceive, because you perceive to the state of your frequency. You see what you believe, but the 65 and the 35 will never ever understand that until the collective gets to the point of coming closer to a vibration of realizing that realization. Now, this sounds like some cartoon shit, but this place is light. It's light, dancing, light figments dancing in reflection of your energy, masquerading as density. Now, always, and now. And instead of attempting to look at and figure out what is occurring, everyone is following the path of everyone in front of them. Now, I'm not upset about any of this, but it's, those that call everybody else sheeple, feeble sheeple, they earn that reputation. I was likely there at one point. Lemmings, but a lot of folks can see the other as being the lemming when it's like America versus Russia, but which is obviously a concocted story, but it's very difficult for them to see it of their team. It's very difficult for them to see it of their close environment, and it's very, very difficult for them to see it of themselves. And it may cause a bit of a psychosis because making them the 65 and the 35%, the collective unconscious 100%, making them as an individual address what is actually occurring in their physical vibrational environment, that they are participating in the creation of what's considered to be their reality, and that they're basically just a attention servant, that they're a divine spiritual energy, divine attention, and how their energy projects life is being pimped out basically through the programming of the collective unconscious. That creates too much of a juxtaposition between the collective vibration and the changing of vibration that's required for them to perceive it. And it can easily, in my opinion, break their brain, create a psychosis, a disease, a death, maybe. There is no death, merely opportunities before. But forcing that upon anyone is a little bit dangerous, although I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just vast majority of the time, it just won't stick. Even if they agree with you for a little bit, they will just in 10 seconds revert back to whatever program their default mode is. And which is just how they perceive themselves within fitting into the social order, the jigsaw puzzle of serving the concentric circles of society. The 35% can do a little bit better at just grin and bearing it because they stick to their kind of like their church or their small friend group or their morals. And the 65% basically just go on to ignoring what was the opportunity for growth and truth and revert that same energy into how can I get ahead, because the end game is what's considered to be success or money. Although money is an exchange of human equity is your time and your energy, what you do with it. And it's really, there's no requirement for money at all. But that's a deep program that doesn't really need to get touched on right now, I guess. Anyway, those that have the opportunity to see like what is it that most humans are doing with their fucking energy, their life, their time, their experience, their embodiment. The fuck are they doing? What are they doing? Driving around, talking shit, swapping spit, getting digits? what's happening. You know, getting drunk, being this isn't judgment. This is like a an ellipsis with a question mark. What are they doing? What's going on? How is all this moving? Everything's going, everything's flowing, and nobody knows what the fuck's going on. Like, how is this thing occurring? The point I'm getting at is, why is it, if you ever see this, that so many don't want to answer that question? What is the pull that makes them want to go zzz, and just close the blinds in their own fucking mind? Why are so many humans desiring a constant state of not being in control of their own mind? Subservient in all ways, a slave to knowing that they are choosing to not know that they're a slave. Plato's cave. I mean, I think I can very easily answer all these questions, but it's more important, in my opinion, to just put it out there. Maybe one individual at one point will say, maybe I'll sit with that for 5 minutes and not take in information, not take in somebody else's terribly uninformed opinion. The answer lies within. You find every answer that is required for you to find by letting go of this place, by letting go of the information in the mind, by letting go of the fear and the ropes inside, by allowing yourself to flow out of the control of the collective unconscious, flow out of the fears of the conscious states, and get yourself into an allowance to get back to being the real you. And when you go through that process, through prayer or meditation or just sitting in nature, just turning everything off, then you have the opportunity to observe. And when you have the opportunity to observe, in my opinion, um, eyes closed, deep breathing meditation is great, but you can do it however you want. Then you are open up just for a little second, and you can access your heart and ask your heart whatever question it is. And it sounds silly, but your heart will answer, because your heart is the prism of your soul. And you are so much greater than this place. And this place is not bad either. It's just that I feel called to ask the question, why is it that you or anyone wants to continue to live an existence, an embodiment of absolute lack of awareness? Why does that frustrate you if you know it's true? Even, and it doesn't matter if you, whatever anyone does, that it's not going to change the fact that they are divine, limitless spirit energy. Everyone is divine, limitless spirit energy, and nothing is or can ever be equal. There's no such thing as equal. But everything is of the singular, in my opinion, what most call God, singular one love, the vibration of creation, intention, attention, the male and the female energy absorbing each other and creating friction, which releases light via cymatic magnetism, the sound of creation. And that is you as well, beyond this embodiment. Your divine, limitless spirit energy. You are everything. You are so much bigger than can even be embodied in this experience. And this experience is wonderful. So there's no pressure. Nobody has to be any one thing anywhere ever. But what a world it would be. What a world it likely will be. A realm, an existence, because everybody's in their own world. If and when there's a desire kicked on of, hmm, maybe there's a little bit more going on here than just have an occupation and serve this thing that's moving digits around and act like I'm doing something that's so important, not raising my kids and not learning about myself and not learning about the divine union of men and women, but laughing at and then getting mad at and then being entertained by and then laughing at and getting mad at and being entertained by screens, but actually embodying the potential existence here now. Now it's right here, but it seems like almost no one wants to talk about almost anything. And it's almost immediately when anyone, no, most people who, nearly everyone is of that small let the light shine, I'm here to shine my light, nearly all of them have always known their entire life, can't be my real self, because they're not ready for it. I can just drop it here and there a little bit. Their best friends, their family, everybody around them, almost everybody they ever meet, every once in a while somebody will say some things that allow them to say just enough in response to where they are. And so those that are here to let their light shine are here to express themselves creatively and to mostly just have their ambiance slowly create a heightened or a growth in vibration for the collective unconscious. So the collective unconscious eventually gets to the place where it is of a vibration where those in the 65 and 35 can start to see a little bit. Because when you change your frequency, you change what you perceive. And then that gives the opportunity for those that are in this collective unconscious fear mind box to have a little bit more space. And in that space inside, they can fill that little gap with more belief for more possibility. And that possibility and more belief will probably come from silly shit like the Scream or Aliens or whatever. But it's all just a projection of you. All of it. Every time. Every story. Every sentence. Every pause. Every animal. Every whisper. Every wind. Every fucking thing is a projection of you. And nobody wants to look at anything. Everybody's just operating and living their program, keeping their head down. And they don't even know why they're keeping their head down. It's okay. This existence is an opportunity for you to look at and figure yourself out. And the more you do that, the more you see that there's no end. That you are the one. You can't not be. It's okay for some to be able to see things and some not. That it's not actually the worst thing ever for some to be operating in a program because to a certain degree it keeps them safe. That the real devil, is just yourself, court gesture in your own mind, dancing for you, for your own distraction and resistance, giving you the things that keep you in a state of receiving information that's not for your sole purpose. Everyone's mission is to remember who they are and shine their internal light. Everybody has different purposes, and that there's a destination purpose and there's a daily purpose, and that has to be lined up for you to really be living. If not, then you're just following. You're just following the, the flow of the program. The vast majority of individuals, no matter how successful at their job or in giving a speech or on TV or in the family, the vast majority have no idea who or what they are. That nearly everyone is a follower following followers. Barely men, barely living. Trained to middle themselves, to make everyone else comfortable who's middling themselves. And it hurts to look up and see maybe something else going on. Maybe there's no fucking rules here. Maybe it's, if you look at it, it's actually impossible for there to be any rules anywhere ever. Maybe there is no real thing that's described as authority. Maybe there's no such thing as a teacher, because all learning derives from within. You have to look closely at the process. It's you that's growing as you develop awareness and skill. It's you that's always teaching you. Always. But nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to see it. It will change soon, and it's changing a bit. But the vast majority of embodiment is so tied to the fear of the collective unconscious that they live a surface life. And internally, their state does not change. They serve holding on to ropes and refuse to release them. And so, if they receive any information that's counter to what the collective has told them that they are and how things work, then there's a 1 second of possibility of interest, and then the internal rope squeeze tighter, and then and the program takes them away from it. Their internal belief structure refuses to allow them to perceive it. Around your belief structure is a filter through which you perceive. See, you're not in the matrix. The matrix is in you. Everybody in the collective is playing the game of life. But when they get to that point where they step back upon leaving their body, or an enlightenment, epiphany, or out of body experience, or whatever, an awakening, they have that brief opportunity to perceive. Pulling back far enough, you realize no one's actually playing the game of life. Life itself is flowing through and playing the game of you. But everyone in the collective is just like one blob serving its own. It's a self-serving loop, serving itself. So they're all acting in a predictable fashion and cohesion with each other. They're acting as just one automaton, like one human with different faces, just operating one program. Anybody who steps outside the program is like putting those glasses on. Like Dick Gregory said. What's scary is when it picks you and you put those glasses on, you can't take them off. And you can't make anybody else wear them. And you can't explain it to anybody. It's because the vibration has altered into a widening. And you're greater than what it requires to fit into the collective unconscious. Now it's like two magnets that repel each other. So your job is to grow yourself so that your ambiance will assist the collective in growing itself. And eventually it will come closer to seeing. Long answer, I suppose, is that nobody can see shit, nobody knows shit because it's not in the best interest of the collective unconscious itself. And that hurts too much for anybody to realize that maybe they're not in charge of their own life because they're serving a frequency. And how much of their life is even their idea? Damn near none of it. Most folks are living multiple choice lives. None of this changes the fact that everything is love and everything is perfect. Everything is beautiful. There is no good and bad. But on the minute level, this can be a lonely bitch, you know? Kind of lonely for everybody, but um, simultaneously it's so interesting and so fun. When we're in reaction to the external, that's when it seems like life itself is in control and we're small and we're powerless and shit is fucked up. That's when it seems like, did you see this thing in the news? Did you see this war? Did you see what this whatever said? Or did you hear what your friend or your former whoever said at the bar? It's this receiving place of being in the audience of life. At some point, this isn't an age thing, it's a moment to moment thing. At some point, your job is to just take the first steps into becoming more aware of only the position of being an audience member of life forever. Don't start talking and act like you know everything because you got one toe out of the audience. There's audience, actor, author, and then the aware. That's all you as an embodiment here. The first step is attempt to get your ass out of the seat of the audience and start to look around. Perceive some things and open your space internally to allow just one drop of actual life and existence to whisper into you. Realize that there's something else that's occurring, and you don't have to know what it is, but that it's not what you were told in the beginning. And what you were told in the beginning is just data that is going back and forth like a Pong game within the collective unconscious to keep everybody safe. That's it. It's not about right or wrong. It's not about truth. It's just about creating barriers of safety for the collective mind because it's fucking scared because it doesn't know how anything works. And there's no good leaders. It's just a bunch of people looking around going, I don't know. I kind of liked it when I was 2 and my mom and dad were here, but then they went to work and I went to school and seemed like food used to be better and now it's full of shit and my body hurts and I do this job all the time. Sometimes it's all right, but mostly I don't even know why I'm doing it. It seems like I live my whole life for money, but I don't even know what the fuck money is. What is the point of this thing? Religion seems sideways, but also I'm supposed to, I can't not, I can't just stop believing in God, or I can't start believing in God because my parents were atheists. Either way, I'm screwed. So I just turn everything off and drink or smoke or work out or just watch sports or just watch reality shows, whatever. And just watch my time go by. Watch my time go by. And we laugh about how everybody else is doing it. That can't be it. I know it's not it, but I'm just saying. 0% chance. That's it. Just the base level, if you look at life and you say, what's the point? Let's just start at 0.1. 0.1 is it cannot be to proliferate lies. The point of life cannot be to be a prism for lies. So just start there. Lies that come into my world, I will not push them forward. So how will I start to ascertain what's a lie or not? Well, just start by assuming that you don't know. And then my suggestion is stop consuming from screens and go and sit with yourself and ask your heart. And one by one, you will get better at seeing, perceiving where the truth lies. And most of the truth is in an unfolding and a tearing back of and a discarding of what lies are. It doesn't mean that everything is nefarious, but it does mean that the vast majority of everything is a program. Not in a computer simulation way, but just in a mechanism of what level of vibration and awareness you are on allows you to perceive the same thing in different manners. And the more that you grow, the more nuance you apply to that. And then the more you grow within, the more you realize that truth itself is a core and it does exist, but that everybody's perceiving it from the angle of which their growth stage is at. And so it's an allowance for yourself to grow. more than it is the hubris of knowing that you don't know shit. Because the people who act like they fucking know everything don't know anything. Like they know so little, you cannot explain to them that they don't know anything. It will break their brain. So they are fully dependent on the collective unconscious, on widening or growing so that they can expand. They're just a Lego piece in the collective unconscious set. But the truth of who they are is divine limitless spirit energy, greater and bigger than everything. So they're not really operating themselves, I guess is the point. Vast majority of everyone is not operating themselves. It's not that they're not on the path to mastery or not mastering themselves. They're not even aware of the fact that they're not operating themselves. Their whole existence is default mode. Love and loyalty is all that matters. Everything is situational and everything is always changing. Hurt people, and heal people. What you focus on, you get more of. What you fear, you feed. Your fear is your mere here. Most of the world's ills are a product of disharmony as a result of conquering. If you breathe and let go, harmony will arise and you can live your dreams. But you have to unfold yourself internally. You have to allow the external to melt away. You have to find the courage within yourself to truly let go of everything. And from that place of fully letting go of everything, audience, actor, author, aware, you can still participate in life. In fact, that's the only time you're actually participating in your life and not the life of the program. That's what you're here to do. You're here to participate in your own life. And how much of your life is even your idea? Honestly, look at it. I mean, humans basically just move stuff around and make noises. If you look at humanity itself. And the third thing that they can do is create. But they've been taught everything in a boxed in manner. Western humans, have been taught everything boxed in to the point where they don't believe that creation is possible. And so everybody's a professional follower. None of this is to point fingers at anybody or say, like, I don't like anybody or anything like that. It's just the third thing that humanity can do here is create. If you find it within yourself that it's possible, even just for an inkling of a second, that you might believe that you can do justice to your destiny and your journey, that you can do something fucking magical now, here in this life now, that you're getting to the place where maybe I don't care about what everybody else thinks about anything. What is the point of even caring what anybody thinks? Is what they think even their own thought? Why am I even thinking about anybody else? When I have an argument with somebody else in my head, they're not even in there. It's just me and the distraction and resistance just bouncing off each other. It's absurd. Maybe there's an opportunity for you to look at yourself and is this the moment that I'm going to start living as me? Is this the moment I'm going to dedicate myself to say, I'm going to take a swing at either becoming completely ostracized and outcast from society as a crazy person, or even if that happens, I'm going to keep going and I'm going to create magic. I'm going to create magic by connecting myself first and purely to love, to that which most call God, to my higher self, to singular one love. I'm going to just me and love, me and God. And I'm going to find in my heart what it is that I'm here to do, or one subject, or one creative work, or one thing in the direction that is coming from inside me. And I'm going to start being quiet and not saying shit to anybody and watching and observing this realm, this my world reflecting back to me. And I'm going to start growing myself. And there will be nothing that's more tantalizing ever. This is the process. Maybe if you try that, you will understand the things I'm rambling about. And maybe then you'll realize there is no fucking limit. It's impossible for there to be a limit. In fact, it's impossible for anything to be impossible. It doesn't make any sense. There's no way anything's impossible. It's just that everybody is operating in a collective unconscious of repetition of fear. So they just go, all the people that you love, all the people that you consider to be your childhood friends or people, your coworkers, they can be the coolest cats ever. But unless they've got themselves to the place of that third thing, not just moving things around and not just making noises as humans. Other than that, there's only one other thing: create. Where does creation come from? Feminine energy of space and the masculine divine intention. Space, attention, masculine spark of intention. Those two coming together, friction from the magnetism and the spinning light. Creation in this place. Which means you listen to the spark, you hold your mind's attention on that spark, you do the one thing that your soul or your spirit or your heart, the prism of you, God, love, the higher self, you tell you, not your mind highway taking in information, not screens, not school, not what your fucking dad said. Sorry, I'm cussing so much, but not from anybody. They don't know. If there's a potential that they are operating on a collective unconscious, they're just going to tell you what the collective unconscious is going to tell you. If you want to create, you have to go way within, way to the real you, which means stop this, stop this, stop this, stop this. It's not hard. You just got to find a way to stop it. Stop paying attention to everything. If you do that, you have that little glimmer, that little glisk of opportunity. In there, in that opportunity, you will realize there is no death, but I'm not going to stay within this body. So what am I here to do? Because there's going to be that moment where I leave the body, and then did I do what I came here to do? Fuck. If I didn't, hell yeah. Haha, if I did, that's all you're living for. That's it, right there. And if you really think that you're something special, if you really feel that there's something special about you, why are you going to wait till then? Just do it now. Do it now. Do what you're here to do now. Fuck money. Fuck school. Fuck whatever. Whatever you got to eat. I promise you. I promise you. I've been through this. You'll find some stuff to eat. I promise you. I promise you, everybody who leaves, the ones that are supposed to be there, will show up once you've done what you're supposed to do. It's you. It's you that is the judge of you. It's you that's weighing your heart against a feather. It's you that is passing through the portals of the underworld. It's you. I mean, it's you and you. Those things are you. It's just you. Did you do this time what you're here to do? You're coming in. There's no time like this. You come in, you're here. There's no time. You're just sitting here. You're doing your thing. All this stuff is happening. You get swooped into the collective. At some point, you pull yourself out or you don't. And at some point, you do what you came here to do or you don't. And then you leave again. And right as you're leaving is, did I do what I came here to do? Did you? Because if you haven't, I highly suggest you just start paying attention to that. Just only that. Your mind is your small mind here is a highway of information coming in and out, connected to the larger mind and this collective mind. It's also a spotlight, and it's what you place your attention on, your divine attention. You are divine, limitless spirit energy. What you place your divine attention on here is what grows in your life. What you pay attention to grows in your world that's reflecting to you. What are you supposed to be paying attention to do what you came here to do? Just do that. Think about how you'll feel if yes, I did what I came here to do. Who will you be if you do that? You you'll be who you always thought you're supposed to be. That little thing inside you. That thing you're hiding from. That thing you don't show anybody. That thing you feel like you're supposed to show everybody, but it just hasn't been the moment for you to do it. So you're just kind of going along. And you will go along with it forever if you stay in the collective unconscious. And that's okay. It's not a judgment thing. It's just you. It's not me and you. It's you and you. You leave and then you, oh yeah. Yeah, fucking I forgot again. I mean, how many times? You see, this place is tricky. It takes away your memory. But it cannot be that you're supposed to come here and not raise your family and not do what you came here to do, but you're supposed to come here and have an occupation to serve a digital currency. It can fucking not be that. That ain't it. If there's a point to this, it cannot be to proliferate lies. But what's the easy way? The easy way is comfort is the welcome at great discomfort. The easy way is doing what everybody tells you to do because it makes common sense based on the collective unconscious program. But the whole time your heart's going doom 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 doom, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You're a bitch, you're a bitch, you're a bitch, you're scared. And you just get used to it. You just push it down, push it down. At some point, you're gonna have to fucking swing. At some point, you're going to have to start being you. And that's not the personality you're programmed with. That's not the the goals that school and church and society told you. I'm not against church. I'm not against school. I'm not against society. It's just that they're parts of a safety net until you grow yourself to the place where you don't require it, where you can start to really be the real you. When is that going to happen? If you're 97, today's a great day. If you're 7, today's a great day. The fact that we raise kids in a manner where they have to go through that to get to a place of, well, maybe one day I'll try to be my real self. Maybe one day. That seems back assward to me. Everybody's fucking scared. Most people are bitches. Most people are judgmental. Most people are serving a master that they don't realize they're serving. Again, none of this changes the fact that they are truly divine, limitless spirit energy. But are most folks that you know kind, wise, and honorable in everything they do all the time? Are most folks you know living their purpose without question? Are most folks you know shining their light? Do most folks you know have the attention span to even look at what they're paying attention to? How quickly do most folks you know brain just completely turn back off because they're holding the ropes of fear? If you've listened to this rambling for an hour, I'm going to cut it off now. It's up to you to begin to live as your true self so that you can do what you came here to do. I'm proud of you. I'm doing it too. And I love you. Prima Voltus Interior.